know anything about Sheffield FC?
No.
No.
No. No.
No.
No. No. No.
This is me, and these are my friends. We've gone on a journey to find out more about football in Sheffield and Sheffield FC itself. In this documentary I interview friends, family, people I don't know to give you the most knowledge possible about football in the Steel City. I hope you enjoyed this documentary. I put a lot of effort and work into it, and I feel as if it's worked out in the end. It's been brilliant, it's been a good journey. Now on with the show.
Sorry guys, it's a bit warm today.
We have been on the ride yet.
Kind of, can't I? Yeah, you can hardly see it while it's new. Still there though. Please don't stop.
Sheffield's always been great for me. I've always loved going there with friends, family, whatever. Loads of shops, loads of things to do. So many people have come from Sheffield, and there's always a certain charm about him. You look at Shaun, he might die in every single thing he's in, but he just seems like a lovely fella. Harry Maguire, obviously the footballer from Sheffield, been doing bits at the World Cup with England and Leicester, and been doing brilliantly, and he just seems like such a down-to-earth nice guy. And yeah, there is just there's a charm about it. That's what I love. We went to Sheffield to really get a feel of the city and show it off. Sheffield feels like a spiritual home of football. As much as Brazilians say that football originated in Brazil, it might have, but football as we know it today would not be what it is without Sheffield, without the Steel City. But first, I think we'll go to my granddad for an interview about Sheffield Wednesday.
Well, let me see where to start now. I started going to see Sheffield Wednesday just after the Sheffield Blitz. I lived on Attercliffe, lost the house, it was bombed out there, and they sent us on Parson Cross. And from there we used to walk down to Hillsborough. When my dad took us down, and my brother, and used to go on Cop. There was a little small entrance on Cop, and we used to stand in front of that and we got a good view of Cop in them days, which were all open. And I've seen everything that went off down there, from all them Globetrotters to Pele, and all top players, Finney, Matthews, Lawton, you name it, until I got married. And they've never really pulled any trees at Wednesday. Never been top of the class, but they've been decent team to watch. They've had best lighting when it first started, all floodlights. They were best in England then, so you can't say out about that. But all players I've seen, I think the best player I saw what didn't belong to Wednesday were Jimmy Hagan of United, lovely footballer. Followed closely by Tom Finney, another one. He could beat Wednesday any time in the middle of his sleep. And all lot of players, right up till me getting married. And I really enjoyed it. And later on, I used to go on Cop then, but later on a friend of mine got a job at Hillsborough, and he had a ticket to get in, because he couldn't use it, like, but, and he let me have it, and I used to sit in stands then, in the best places there, and very nice as well. Everybody was jovial. By the way, I'm 88 year old, and I've got a regular seat at Hallamshire Hospital, so that's all right. But everything, I've seen everything at Hillsborough, up to getting married, and I've had a good time. I know they've never done anything great, but they've always been well to watch, nice to watch. Nice colours, blue and white, can't beat blue and white. And apart from that, what can I say? We all players have seen Albert Quixall, Sewell, Froggatt. Oh, what are they all lot on them?
Did you ever win out?
Yeah, no. Well, no, not when I've been there. They lost when they played in. When did they play? Cup final. 66, same year as they won Cup England.
Yeah.
Well,
In English football, nothing compares with this Wembley festival climaxing the season, the Cup Final. The superb stadium, capacity filled with 100,000 fans up for the Cup. This occasion has everything. But what of the atmosphere behind the scenes? Kicked off, Sheffield in white. After only 4 minutes, the final became electric. Jimmy McCalliog in possession. Off an Everton player, his shot found the net. Goal for Wednesday. Merseyside fans thought their idols had equalised when Alex Young netted, but he was offside. Try as they would, they couldn't increase it, nor could Everton draw level.
And I went down to see that match at Wembley, and poor old Wednesday were doing well up to half time, and I thought, what's this team doing, this one? They're not what I usually see in Sheffield. They're very good.
Wednesday kicked off on the resumption, and the great crowd soon sensed that it was going to be a tremendous second half. In brilliant form, Springett dealt with that one. For the Sheffielders, team and supporters, it was the peak of excitement when David Ford scored Wednesday's second goal. To be trailing by 2 goals in the second half is a most uncomfortable position in a cup final. It would have been understandable if Everton had wilted at this stage. They did exactly the opposite. From now on, they were a team inspired. Mike Trebilco beat Springett with a fine shot. Again, it was the 21-year-old Trebilco who scored to make it 2-2. Not even a cup final can prevent the Goodison Park spirit invading Wembley. That Bobby ought to be playing at Twickenham. It was the sort of final the fans dream about, but don't often see. Goals in plenty, and the most dramatic second half seen for years. Everton put every ounce they had into a winning effort. They were twice the team they'd been in the first half. That speedy left winger, Derrick Temple, had a great chance and made no mistake. What a dramatic change had come over this astonishing game. Sheffield were now a goal in arrears. There seemed to be nothing they could do about it. Victory to Everton and the cup.
Anyway, the second half, there's a bloke called Tipplecock or something like that, and he popped him in and against Wednesday with Everton, and we lost. So as soon as the match was over, I run down the stairs. There were no anything going off after that for me. Run down the stairs and caught the train back straight away. And I think I was crying out way back really, but it's that long ago, I just can't place it like. But as I say, I've seen old players in then, Tommy Lawton and all lot, Milburn, you name them, from after that to me getting married. I don't know what stopped me when I got married, I'm sure.
As you can tell from that interview, my granddad really is a down-to-earth, lovely man. And you can tell he cares a lot about football from that interview. A lot about Sheffield Wednesday. He's been through a lot. He got bombed out of his house, a Wednesday fan. He went to a cup final, a Wednesday fan. He went home crying, a Wednesday fan. And he got married, a Wednesday fan. I do love him a lot. And I think it is brilliant that he's been able to get this knowledge and give it to me, give it to us. And just, yeah, it's just nice to know a bit more about the history of Sheffield Wednesday and what they've done. To get more knowledge on Sheffield Wednesday and about who they are now, I went to talk to my friend Luke.
Probably my best memory is probably, I think it was May 2012, whereas us in Sheffield United were basically battling for promotion against well, we were against Wickham. Can't remember who they were against. Final day of the season, packed at Hillsborough, we were rocking right day out, managed to sit in the cop, and yeah, so we were lucky because Wickham already got relegated, so you know it should have been an easy win game. Ended up winning 2-0. Now remember Niall Ranger, he did score a couple of goals for us, and then obviously Mikel Antonio was a really good player, and so when he obviously left, we were kind of sad really. He joined Nottingham Forest, and then I think he went to West Ham, and obviously he's in and around the West Ham team, so yeah. But looking on to this season, well this next season anyway, I hope it's a good one really, now that well, Sheffield United have just gone up really, so hopefully maybe we can join them, or you know, we go up and they go down, whichever. I'm not too bothered to be honest. It'd be good to have a Sheffield derby in the Premier League really, so yeah.
What's the best player you've ever seen play for Wednesday?
I'm not too sure actually. It's kind of hard. Some players have probably seen, like maybe Mikel Antonio. Obviously, there was a reason why he's obviously playing for a Premier League team now, because he had that sort of talent. But yeah, got some good players now. I guess Forrest is one. I'm just gonna have to put his name out there because when he came in the 2015-16 season, joining from Watford, he did quite well. He finished our top goal scorer. That's mainly why the reason we was we got to the playoff final really. I think we finished fourth. So he was a really good player back then. It's kind of dropped off now. I've heard Sheffield United want him at the minute, so you can always see what happens. I mean, I'm not too bothered if he goes. These last couple of years, he's been struggling with injury problems, so it's probably why he's not been the best player. His best performance I've seen since his injury is probably against Norwich. He had a right good performance then. Obviously scored a world there, so yeah, I guess he's a really good player when he. On his day, but he just does bad moments when he's always getting injured. So
that was a good look at Sheffield Wednesday in a modern day. It really shows you how things have changed since my granddad's day. But I think we need to get another side of this argument. So I think for that, I'm going to have a chat with my friend Callum.
My favourite moment throughout my life of being a Sheffield United fan, from what I've actually experienced, would have to be the FA Cup semi-final when I went to Wembley and we played Hull City. Went on that incredible FA Cup run. Absolutely smashed some amazing teams. Got to playoff semis, and I just remember it was 5-3, and we went 1-0 up at first. And honestly, at that point I was like, "What's going on here?" And then Hull equalised, then we went 2-1 up, and I was like, got very teary, and that was honestly one of the best days of my life. Just trip out to Wembley, great day out, and seeing Yuung Boys, seeing your favourite team doing well, and even though we lost 5-3, just remember when the final whistle went, all we did was get up on our hands and clap, and we clapped for about a good half an hour, and my best. And the best thing of all, of course, it happened very recently. Blades are in Prem, aren't they again? Blades are in Prem. Nothing better you could ask for, really. I don't know, to see Billy Sharp, Sheffield born and bred, fat lad from Sheffield, captaining his team. But he's always supported since he was a little kid. He's took him to Prem. It's unreal, really. I mean, we've got Chris Wilder, who I think he's got 3 promotions in 4 seasons, something like that. I think only thing he can win now is Champions League and Premier League, and hopefully that's what we're going to do next few seasons. Just amazing stuff, really. I don't know. To be fair, I couldn't even tell you what memories and what's my best memories and that. There's been ups and downs with Blades and that, but when you have so much passion for a team that you support and stuff like that, just especially with United, even just going to Lane, you get a right good buzz off it. And just walking out, sitting down, and then just before kick off that fat greasy chip butty song, it's just amazing. The whole Sheffield United community and that everything about it. Don't know why everyone doesn't support them, to be honest. It's just Sheffield United, isn't it? I'd say my favourite player now is definitely got to be Billy Sharp, because it's just Billy Sharp, innit, at the end of the day. He's Sheffield born and bred, been a Blade since he was a young kid, come through youth, and he's been away from Lane, he's come back, and what's he got, something over 200 English League goals, something like that. It's got to be Billy Sharp. But in past, you've had Jamie Ward, you've had all likes of Michael Tong, remember Steve Cabot, Pesky Solido, all them kind of players. Even Chris Morgan, if you have to say that. But there's been loads of very good players over times. And you've even got the likes of Kyle Walker. Look what he's doing now. You've got David Brooks. Look what he's doing now. They're all in Premier League. And Matty Phillips, he plays for West Brom, but still a very good player. Stuff like that, and it's just amazing. I can't wait, to be honest, and I'm really looking forward to who we're going to bring in for the Premier League. It's just great being a Sheffield United fan, and I could sit here all night, but there's so many memories, and I
That's one thing. There was Kyle Norton as well.
Yeah.
Maguire, obviously.
Yeah, Harry. Yeah, of course.
Who smashed it
in World Cup. Yeah.
Jagielka.
Yeah.
Gary
Gary Cahill.
Cahill,
You're on loan. Yeah, Gary Cahill.
Who's Gary Cahill? Who's obviously from
Johnny.
That's where Sheffield FC is based. So.
Yeah. It's just very exciting because, like, to do what we've done this season with the team we had, I think, like, we had no right to be up in that top spot. We had no right to be there with the team we had. I mean, you've got David McGoldrick who had to go on a trial to come and play for us at the start of last season. He didn't even get signed. He had to go on a trial for us. And look what he's done this season. What is it, 15 goals and 4 assists? And you've got Billy Sharp with him, who's got like 20 odd goals this season.
Again.
And it's not the fact of, like, I wouldn't say, like, we ain't got your Forestieri's. We haven't got a Forestieri's. We haven't got like that little playmaker. But the reason why we're such a good team is we all work together. It's passionate, and we're workhorses. It's not only a team; it's a family. And like we just it's what it is though. Like, obviously, as a fan, you kind of see that as well. I mean, Johnny Egan, when we got promoted, he's made up. Have you seen his chant? Johnny Egan's chant. Made up a chant presentation now, and it's all on YouTube.
If you go to a pub in Ireland, you have to have a song. And if you don't have a song, you may as well not go to the pub at all. So in January, I said to my better half, I said, I have got a song. And I said, we are going to the Premier League. And when we get to the Premier League, I'm going to sing this song. And we're going to the tune of a Liverpool song. We've got a few Scousers here. Duffy, get here. Mark Duffy, the MVP. Gaffer, you better come to the front when I mention your name. We are Sheffield United. They call us the Blitz. We got British stars. He's a legend at the league. Basherman O'Connor. Overlapping down the wing. Don't be flanking forward with his fucking pin.
I think it literally, only a matter of a couple of days later, we played last game of the season, Stoke away. And I remember final whistle went, it's all on YouTube, all players come out, that's that massive promotion banner there, and all Blades fans are in Stoke End, at Stoke City Stadium, and all you can hear is them repeating this chant. It's literally only been seen on YouTube, and all fans have took it in, remembered it, and we're all chanting their song back, and all Blades are bouncing. It's just very good. Like, everything about it. It's just a brilliant club. And, like, I don't know why you wouldn't support it, to be honest. I mean, you got him as a Chelsea fan, but nah, very exciting times. Also very exciting times to be a Blade.
Callum's been a Sheffield United fan his whole life, nearly 20 years of that. And whenever I've talked to him about football, he's always passionate and he always says something about Sheffield United. And you can't discount their successfulness under Chris Wilder, and they've been brilliant. But this documentary isn't about Sheffield United. It's not about Sheffield Wednesday. It's about Sheffield FC. And I went to talk to Bill Towning at Sheffield FC about the club, about everything to do with them. So sit back and enjoy as we dive into the main theme of this narrative.
My name's Bill Towning. I'm the secretary of Sheffield Football Club. I work mainly on the football administration side, looking after the first team and the other senior men's teams. We've got a newly established reserve team, and we also have an under-19s academy team. And my job's to make sure that all our players are registered properly, that we fulfil our fixtures and our league and FA commitments. FC it is the oldest and first football club in the world, established in 1857 by two gentlemen who wanted something to help cricketers keep fit during the cricket close season, and they hit on football as the sport to help them do that. But in those days there was no formalised set of rules for the game as there are now. So instead of just getting the guys out kicking a ball around, they put some structure to it, and they established a set of rules in 1857, and from those early beginnings, football grew out. Club football in particular grew out of those early beginnings, and has become the sport that we know today. And football is about clubs in the main. I can't imagine how many clubs there are in the world. I'm sure somebody's counted them, but there are thousands and thousands of clubs who all have their origin as Sheffield Football Club. Sheffield, for a very long time, always remained amateur, and that's one of the reasons why we still operate at a fairly modest level in the English football hierarchy, although it's a very good standard of men's football. We play in the Northern Premier League. We're at what's called step 4 of the National League system. So 3 promotions gets us into the National League, which is where Chesterfield currently operates, and Notts County will be playing. Another 4 promotions gets us to play Arsenal. But the lack of professionalism, because Sheffield shunned professionalism, other teams were able to attract the better players in the early days. So Sheffield Wednesday, Sheffield United, and the other professional teams that were formed early on grew much more quickly and became very much more influential in the game. Sheffield did play its part in the formation of the Football Association. Indeed, former members of the club were instrumental in making sure that the Football Association continued to exist in its early days, because there was some doubt in those days. The club has played at very many different places. We've always been a bit of a nomadic club until the last 20 years. We played for a long time at Abbeydale Park in Sheffield, Abbeydale Sports Ground, where now Sheffield Rugby Club and the Hockey Club and Yorkshire County Cricket Club have played. Prior to that, our first ground was Olive Grove, which is a stone's throw away from Bramwell Lane, and also a short distance from where Sheffield Wednesday first played. It's quite an interesting part of Sheffield, is S2, because that's where organised football really started, and we've still got Sheffield United there, and the first church team was Healy, and many famous clubs, including Aston Villa, have grown out of church teams. As far as other grounds are concerned, in latter years, when we were no longer able to play at Abbeydale Sports Ground, we played at Don Valley Stadium and Owlerton Stadium, Hillsborough Park, and nomadic existence led us to other places as well, like even Worsborough near Barnsley, when we were short of a ground. But for the last 18 years, we've been at Dronfield at the Coach and Horses ground, which has been a football ground for very, very many years. It used to be always known as the Norton Woodseats ground, and when the Norton Woodseats club was no longer able to field a senior men's Saturday side, we took over the ground, and we've been here ever since, and Dronfield has been a very good home to us. We would like to be relocated to Sheffield because we are, after all, Sheffield Football Club, but obviously that takes a lot of resource and a lot of political manoeuvring, which one day will lead to us being back in the spiritual home in Sheffield, in the city. I've been involved with the football club in one job or another for about 15 years, 16 years perhaps. I live at Dronfield, and it was very handy for me to come down and watch games, and eventually I became more involved with the club in a variety of roles. So in the past few years at Dronfield, I've seen quite a few changes, and quite a lot of progression on the field and off the field. And on the field, we've moved up from Step 5, which was the Northern Counties East League, to Step 4, the Northern Premier League, which is known as the Evo Stick League. And we've had some successful times in that, and some not so successful years in that. This last year has been one of the better seasons, and we finished 4th, got to the playoffs, but unfortunately we were beaten in the playoff semi-final by Brighouse Town, who we'd actually beaten in a league game the previous Saturday. Over the years, we've had some pretty good runs in the FA Cup. We've got to the 4th qualifying round on a couple of occasions. Unfortunately, having fallen at that hurdle has meant that we're not in the first round proper. But who knows? Every club at our level hopes to get into the proper competition and see and test themselves against league clubs if at all possible. We get a lot of tourists here. People come from all over the world to visit Sheffield Football Club, just to see where the oldest and first football club is plying its trade and what the ground looks like, and perhaps to get a souvenir and take some photos, and we're always very happy to see them. We have a lot of visitors from Europe. We have a lot of people come from Germany, because we do have a special relationship with German supporters because of high profile things that our chairman has been involved with Borussia Dortmund, and having had a Legends game here when we had some very high profile Borussia Dortmund players, ex-players come and play here. Players like Lars Ricken have played on this pitch, and we've also in our 150th anniversary, which we had at Bramall Lane, we played Inter Milan in 2007, and we also played a young team from Ajax. The team gets invited to play fixtures overseas because of its status. Last year we went to Leipzig to help a team celebrate its 125th anniversary. The team is called SV Lipsia, and they will be visiting us here in July for a return fixture. The team is also visiting Moscow this June, the end of June, and is playing 4 games against teams from Russia. We also have a touring side who are playing a number of teams locally from Matabeleland, which is a sort of autonomous province of Zimbabwe, we're looking forward to that match here. Sheffield FC is one of only 2 clubs in the world that have received the FIFA Order of Merit, the other one being Real Madrid, and our chairman received that award in 2004 when it was FIFA's centenary. And we also have quite a lot of memorabilia from the early days of football, and you might be interested to know that the first cups that a football club ever awarded to its players were not for football, they were for athletics, because Sheffield always closed its football season with an athletic competition, and being Sheffield, the winners of the competition always got some sort of trophy made locally, a cup or a tankard or something like that, and we've managed to acquire some of those items, and one of our ambitions is to build a small museum at our new ground whenever that may happen, so that we can show these off to the world. We're also very proud of our women's teams. We had until recently a team operating in the Women's Super League, but unfortunately for financial reasons we had to cease to operate at that level. But we do operate at step 3 in the women's pyramid, so that's the 3rd tier of women's football in England, and we have a team operating in the women's Premier League Northern Division, and they've just completed their season. It hasn't been the easiest season because of the ramifications of coming out of the Women's Super League, but the ladies have done very well to get through it, and we're very positive about what they can achieve in the future in terms of women's and girls football. We also run a number of scholarships at academies in Rotherham and in Sheffield, which gives footballing and education opportunities to boys from 16 to 18 who also do a BTEC in various other subjects. And as far as our ambitions are concerned, we are, like every other football club, we want to be as successful as we possibly can within our resource on the pitch. At the moment the manager is putting together a squad for next season. In non-league football, players do move about quite a lot, but we're very happy that quite a lot of our players who were with us last season have decided to stay, but we are looking to strengthen the squad as well, and in the coming weeks we'll be able to announce quite a few exciting signings for the men's first team, and I know that Helen and her team in the ladies section will be doing exactly the same thing.
Camera's about to die, so
Thanks very much for your time, gentlemen.